Morning, everyone. This is a little bit weird having our Tuesday business meeting on Wednesday morning, but thank you for joining us. It is May 24th, 2023. The time is 10 a.m. I'm calling this meeting to order. In attendance are Commissioners Brooks, Matari, and Duncan. And now, if you would join me in a moment of silence. Okay. Mr. Damiano, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, changes to the agenda. I think we have several items here that are going to be pulled. We're pulling minutes, items 1, 5, and 6, and item 26, all those things. So any objection to?
No.
Nope.
All right. I would take a motion to approve meeting minutes minus those 3.
I move that we approve the meeting minutes, items 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8, and 9.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion carries. And now our consent calendar, please.
I move that we approve the consent calendar, items 10 through 15. Excuse me.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion carries. Item G, approve payables list.
I move that we approve the payables list from May 15 to 19, 2023 in the amount of $2,255,430.79 and jury panel payments of $499.04.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, item 16, bid opening. This is for transport hauling services. I don't know why that looks weird. And our solid waste department. Want to say anything? No?
And this is for transport hauling agreement for hauling refuse from the transfer stations to the landfill.
Okay.
Okay, the first company is Northwest Industrial Services, LLC. For Category 1, solid waste materials from Ramsey Transfer Station to Kootenai County Farm Landfill. Year 1 is $13.40 per ton per year. Year 2 is $13.91 per ton. Year 3 is $14.16 per ton. Year 4 is $14.39 per ton. And year 5 is $14.97 per ton. For Category 2, solid waste materials from Prairie Transfer Station to Kootenai County Farm Landfill. Year 1 is $14.50 per ton. Year 2 is $14.96 per ton. Year 3 is $15.18 per ton. Year 4 is $15.44 per ton. And year 5 is $15.92 per ton. Thank you. The next bid is from CDA Transfer Services, LLC, doing business as CDA Garbage Service. For Category 1, solid waste materials from Ramsey Transfer Station to the Kootenai County Farm Landfill. Year 1 is $11. Year 2 is $11.44. Year 3 is $11.89. Year 4 is $12.37. Year 5 is $12.86. For Category 2, Solid waste materials from Prairie Transfer Station to Kootenai County Farm Landfill. Year 1 is $14 even. Year 2 is $14.56. Year 3 is $15.14. Year 4 is $15.74. And year 5 is $16.37. And we have a third bid here. The contractor is, I believe, Big Sky Limited. Of Wyoming.
Should be on the front of the envelope.
I do not see the form.
That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think we need the bid form, don't we, to be completed.
It's on the back page, the back side of the page.
Back side of the first page. Oh, here we are.
Oh, good. Okay.
Try to say it.
So this third bid is from Big Sky Limited of Wyoming for Category 1 solid waste materials from Ramsey Transfer Station to Kootenai County Farm Landfill. Year 1 is $12.45. Year 2 is $13.45. Year 3 is $14.52. Year 4 is $15.68. Year 5 is $17.25. For Category 2, the solid waste materials from Prairie Transfer Station to Kootenai County Farm Landfill are as follows. Year 1 is $13.97 per ton, $15.09 per ton for Year 2. Year 3 is $16.29 per ton. Year 4 is $17.60 per ton, and Year 5 is $19.36 per ton.
So I would take a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the bids and send to legal and solid waste for review.
Yes, I move that we acknowledge receipt of all the bids and send them to legal for review.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right. Item 17, financial budget, and this is purchased of used or remanufactured landfill compactor from CNC Manufacturing, and Director Phillips.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Phillips for the record. The Solid Waste Department budgeted funds for rebuilding a landfill compactor during this fiscal year. The department solicited offerings and quotes from CNC Manufacturing, Terex, and Caterpillar. Only CNC Manufacturing responded with the ability to rebuild our current machine and/or offer an available pre-rebuilt used machine that meets our needs and specifications. Legal Services did confirm that bidding is not necessary for the purchase of used equipment. CNC has offered a used but completely rebuilt Aljon 525 for a reasonable price. They have proposed delivering this machine to the landfill and then accepting our current machine as a core to ease the rebuilding process. This is a very good offer. A new machine for comparison comes in at approximately $1 million. The Solid Waste Department requests the BOCC approve moving forward with the purchase of this used but rebuilt landfill compactor in the amount of $602,467, and this is within our budgeted amount.
Okay,
How much is it?
$602,467 for the rebuilt machine with the extra, with the wheels that are modified.
No questions.
all right, motion?
Go ahead.
I move that we approve the purchase of the used remanufactured landfill compactor from CNC Manufacturing for solid waste in the amount of $602,467.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Item 18, textile recycling agreement, Northwest Center, DBA The Big Blue Truck, and our solid waste. Are you handling this?
Yeah, I'll be doing both the other two items, so.
Oh, okay, it just has Angela's name on here, so
So I should have
Right.
made that clear. It's my fault.
that's okay.
Again, good morning, Commissioners. John Phillips for the record. This agreement was put together by Jamila Homes, and it's for the collection, transportation, and recycling of textiles, which is mostly used clothing, for the Kootenai County Solid Waste Department. Collection points for this service include both transfer stations as well as the Athol and Chilco rural sites. The term of this agreement is October 1st, 2023 to September 30th, 2026. The Solid Waste Department requests that you approve and sign this 3-year agreement for textile recycling with Northwest Center DBA, The Big Blue Truck. This is a no-cost contract.
Okay, so kind of a related but unrelated to the contract. If people are throwing away their clothes, are they supposed to separate them out?
Yeah, so these are bins that the Big Blue Truck puts at our site specifically for clothes donations, and then they reuse the material. So the Big Blue Truck shows up once in a while when the bins are full and then dumps them and takes them to a recycling facility.
Okay, so don't put them in your household garbage, come put them at the
You could recycle those, yes.
recycle. Perfect. Okay, any questions or motion?
I move
No
that we
questions.
approve the textile recycling agreement with Northwest Center DBA The Big Blue Truck and Solid Waste.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Now for 19, the Second Amendment to Lead Acid Battery Recycling Agreement, Interstate Batteries of Northeastern Washington, and our Solid Waste Department Director.
Again, John Phillips for the record. This amendment to an existing agreement with Interstate Batteries is a contract extension written by Jamila Homes for the transportation and recycling of lead acid batteries for the Kootenai County Solid Waste Department. So this is typically car batteries or lawnmower batteries, that type of thing. The term of this extension is October 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2024. The Solid Waste Department requests you approve and sign this 1-year extension to an existing agreement with Interstate Batteries. Again, this is a no-cost contract.
Okay, questions, motion?
No questions. I move that we approve the Second Amendment to the lead acid battery recycling agreement with Interstate Batteries of Northeastern Washington and Solid Waste.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you, JP. Item 20, addendum to SCJ Professional Service Agreement, SCJ Alliance, and our Community Development Department. Director Callahan?
Thank you, Commissioners. This seeks your approval of $3,864 addition to an existing contract, which will allow us to complete the tribal area-wide rezoning, which is scheduled to be in front of you on July 13th.
Okay. Any questions? All right, motion?
I move that we approve addendum 2 of the SCJ Professional Agreement contract amendment with Community Development in the amount of $3,684.
$3,864. I second the motion.
Excuse me, what was it?
$3,864. The numbers are just transposed.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion carries. Item 21, this is a financial budget issue. Approve payment to Munson Boat in our Parks and Waterways. Director Snyder, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nick Snyder for the record. On May 18th, myself and Operations Manager Jake Strange completed sea trials on the workboat, found it to be satisfactory. As a matter of fact, they did an exceptional job. And so that said, we seek board authorization to issue final contractual payment to Munson Boat in the amount of $396,983. And for the record, the funding is coming from a combination of grant funds and user fees. No general fund tax dollars are being used for the purchase of the boat.
Okay, questions, motion?
I move that we approve the payment to Munson Boat from Parks and Waterways in the amount of $396,983.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Item 22, board approval request. This is Title III, United States Forest Service reimbursement with our Sheriff's Rec Safety Division, and Sergeant Miller, please.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. Sergeant Ryan Miller for the record. I am coming before you today to seek reimbursement for Title III funds from January 1st, 2021 to January 14th, 2023. I do know on page 2 it says May 9th, but that was a typo. It is January 14th, 2023. The total amount is $26,853.09. And welcome any questions.
All right, Jelena, is there anything to add? If you're talking, Jelena, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm at a conference, so I had to unmute myself. We received $28,000 and some change this year. So we will, if the board approves it, then it'll be published for 45 days. And if no one contests it, then we'll be back before the board to actually request the transfer.
Okay, perfect. All right, questions, motion?
No questions.
I move that we approve the request under Title III U.S. Forest Service reimbursement for the Sheriff's Office and Rec Safety.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Item 23, and, excuse me, independent contractor agreement with Cheryl Hallgren and our Sheriff's Department and Under Sheriff Nelson.
Under Sheriff Brett Nelson on behalf of the Sheriff's Office. We come before you today seeking approval for a independent contract agreement that legal has approved. Recently, Cheryl, who was our public safety systems manager, retired and relocated to Florida. She agreed to contractually work for us for the next few months as we transition between finding her replacement, which we are testing for today, matter of fact. This contract will allow us to utilize her expertise to ensure that support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week will be provided to the Spillman group throughout the county, not just only the Sheriff's Office. She will be able to answer any questions, tend to any administrative tasks in managing the system, and then also continue to improve and support the users as we transition to a replacement.
Okay. Do other agencies reimburse us at all when they have problems?
Yes, it's part of the process itself through Spillman, so yes, we do receive some reimbursement.
Okay, and this is for $8,400 a month?
That is correct.
Okay. Is that more than what a full-time employee makes?
I would have to compare. I don't believe so. But with regards to that, I'm not specifically sure.
Okay. Questions?
This is for 24/7 service, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And then the other issue is there someone else in the office or other people that can start to learn this, have this information transferred so we can keep it from within?
Yes,
Or-
right now we have 3 independent, if you will, people below Cheryl, 1 in dispatch, 1 in records, and 1 in the jail, who oversee their individual components but don't have the worldly perspective to take over the entire system, hence the reason we are testing today for that replacement. So yes, as they are gaining knowledge under her tutelage for the next few months to ensure that we are comprehensively attending to all facets of the Spillman system.
Okay. And is this going to affect the budget if the person testing today works out and you hire them? Or is that, there's really not going to be an overlap, I'd
No.
imagine, by the time you do backgrounds?
That is correct. Should be budget neutral in regards to that, and also, hopefully, most importantly, the knowledge base of being transferred to ensure that there isn't a breakdown.
Sure. Okay, any other questions?
No.
Okay, motion.
I move that we approve the independent contractor agreement with Cheryl Hallgren and the Sheriff's Office.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Okay, item 24, renewal of MOU with IDJC, CBAS, and SUDS programs And this is our Idaho Department of Juvenile Corrections with our Juvenile Probation Department. And Director Alexander, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Alexander for the record. Yes, this is asking the board to review and renew our MOU with the Idaho Department of Juvenile Corrections for the community-based alternative services and the substance use disorder funds. This has been reviewed by legal, no issues with the current MOU. It's no cost to the county. Just kind of break it down with the community-based funds through Q3. Kootenai County, we received approximately $21,275 that went to 21 juveniles for equine therapy, mental health counseling within the community to help offset the cost for the parents and through the county. And then through the SUDS funding, so far year to date, we received $167,036 through April 30th, which went to 46 juveniles in the community and 16 for residential services for substance abuse.
Okay, questions?
No questions.
Motion?
I move that we renew the MOU with IDJC, CBAS, and SUDS programs with the Idaho Department of Juvenile Corrections.
I second the motion.
I'm sorry, and juvenile probation.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Item 25, grant agreement 20HFR1 Kootenai, and this is for hazard fuel treatment on Southeast Hayden Lake with our Idaho Department of Lands, $55,000, no match requirement, and Office of Emergency Management. And who's joined us from OEM?
This is Andrea Littlefield for the record. This is the MOU between the Idaho Department of Lands and Kootenai County for $55,000 to extend the treatment for Southeast Hayden Lake, and there is no match.
Okay, questions, motion?
I move that we approve grant agreement 20HFR1 for Kootenai County and the hazard fuel treatment at Southeast Hayden Lake with Idaho Department of Lands for $55,000 and no match requirement.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion carries. Item 26 has been pulled, and we're on to item 27, and this is a grant application for Kootenai County Public Transportation, Section 5307 funds for a tractor, and FTA amount is $20,000, in-kind match is $5,000 with Resource Management Office. And Jody, are you on the line?
Yes. The 5307 grant application, as you mentioned, is for $25,000 to purchase a tractor to maintain the grounds at the Riverstone Transit Center. And as noted, the grant application funding request is $20,000 in federal funds with $5,000 in local match.
All right, questions? Motion?
I move that we approve, grant application for Kootenai County Public Transportation, Section 5307 tractor with the Federal Transit Administration for $20,000 with an in-kind match of $5,000 for RMO.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Item 28, this is just the ratification of the approval of the offer to purchase property and right-of-way for Ramsey Road extension by the city of Hayden. We signed the documents last week, and this is just for internal purposes. So I would just take a motion to ratify the purchase.
I move that we ratify and approve the offer to purchase the property and right-of-way for Ramsey Road Extension by the City of Hayden, AIN 12310L19.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Thank you. Item 29, board approval request for additional item on the FY24 budget request with our assessor's office.
Commissioners, thank you. Bela Kovacs, Kootenai County Assessor for the record. Thank you for permitting me to come before you today to hear this. If I may, I'd like to frame the reason for this request. when we went to work putting our budget together for this next fiscal year, we made a conscious decision to not include this request in the budget. So it's not like we missed a deadline. We have since learned some additional information, which is prompting me to come back to you before the board. If I may frame my understanding, one of the reasons that I had this understanding was based upon statute 63-314 of Idaho Code, if I may read it, the item subsection 3, the county commissioners of each county shall furnish the assessor with such additional funds and personnel as may be required to carry out the program hereby provided, and for this purpose may levy annually. And I'm going to stop right there, but essentially it is funding that the Board of County Commissioners is required to provide to the assessor's office to perform our functions and our duties. With that understanding in mind, I had the perspective and understanding that I could come back before the board for a mid-year appropriation if necessary. The other reason that factored into our decision not to include it into our budget was an understanding that I obtained from the Treasurer's Office back in October of 2022. While at a conference, we were at a meeting concerning the system that we have now, the actual software maker of the system. It was said in that meeting by the software maker to the Treasurer's Office that a fit gap analysis was not necessary. Also, subsequent to that, the week after the Board of County Commissioners amended and approved contract modification number 3 to the XTR contract at my request, I had a separate meeting with the Treasurer's Office, both Steve Matheson and Jill, and again came with the understanding that they were not moving forward with their portion of the assessment or the fit gap analysis. On the 15th of May, I received an email from Steve Matheson letting me know that they were moving forward with their portion of the fit gap analysis. Now there's a symbiotic relationship. There's definitely economies of scales to be saved when you contract with a consultant to perform an analysis of both systems. What we do affects the treasurer, and so it made sense for me to now revisit that and bring that back to the Board of County Commissioners. And so it is for that reason that I am presenting this to the board. We are not asking to approve a contract today. We're just simply asking to earmark the funds for 2024. That would be at a value of $250,000. That was an estimated value given to us by XTR to do our portion, the assessor's portion of the assessment of the system or the fit gap analysis. And that would be specifically with the purpose to assist Kootenai County in the eventual migration of our current system to a next generation system for both the assessor and the treasurer's office. And with that, I will submit to your questions.
So at this point, you're just asking to get this amount added to the FY24 request.
That's all this is.
Questions?
Well, I spoke with the treasurer about that, and one of the things, because it's one analysis for 2 different departments, you know, one of the ideas was to assign the funds to the IT department under the BOCC, and then we could have an additional set of eyes to look at that, and he's okay with that. Are you okay with that?
Well, the contract that we currently have with XTR, basically, it identifies the owner, so to speak, of the contract of the services to be rendered as the assessor, which is consistent with statute in this case. But it does also identify IT as the project manager, and certainly they're the technical lead, so to speak, and I am not in any way opposed to working together with IT and XTR to accomplish the objectives, so long as the board is not asking me to relinquish any authority or power over the funding. I have no problem with that.
So is that yes, you are okay doing exactly what the treasurer is willing to do, or no, you're not okay doing what the treasurer has offered and is willing to do?
Can you define what the treasurer is willing to do?
That he's willing to allow those funds to be assigned to IT.
Provided that it does not entail me relinquishing direction for how those funds are used to meet the specific needs of the assessor's office. If that's the case, then I'm not opposed to it. If I have to surrender that prerogative to ensure that it meets our needs, then I'm opposed to it.
Yeah. My understanding is that the treasurer was willing to surrender that just so that we could help work expeditiously, because there's two different departments and one piece of software.
What
So
is
you're-
to be gained by surrendering it? And
Well,
I'm not so sure I
I-
can surrender a statutory obligation. With legal counsel here, I guess I would ask that question, if that's something that can be done.
I would have to look into the issue and give you an opinion later. I don't really know much about this.
Yeah.
I think we should defer action on this until we have more information.
So would these funds be restricted funds at all for reval or your restricted fund?
Yeah, this is the CAP 46 fund specifically for the reval program, which this system directly pertains to.
Okay, so then we may need an opinion on that, if, how that goes.
So let's get an opinion then.
Okay. All right, so we won't take action on item 29, and we're up to item 30, which is Resolution 2023-55, which is reinstatement of salary, assessor salary per court order. So, did you want to take that one?
Yeah, I looked at the ruling on that, and I agree. Basically the judge was saying that you can't take pay away if you don't take responsibility away. So this is a new board, and as far as I'm concerned, it's a clean slate, and so I would like to make a motion if I could.
Before you make a motion, can I clarify? I'm not sure the resolution specifies exactly what needs to be paid to Mr. Kovacs.
Okay.
His salary was not reduced until October 1st. So he would be entitled to the amount, the difference of the 6% increase from the 25th through the 30th. And then from October 1st on, the difference between the 45,000 his salary was reduced to the new salary that includes the 6%. So I just wanted to clarify that the September 25th through the 30th would only be the amount of the 6% increase that he would be paid.
And that's what I think the resolution kind of indicates that. Isaac?
That's correct, Commissioners. Isaac Gomes for the record, Auditor's Office. One admin note as well, there's a figure on the resolution itself, and just with it being 26 pay periods, the standard policy is that we round to two decimals on the per pay period amount, which actually brings it up to a figure 6 cents higher, but that's a standard thing. But as far as the calculations, exactly as Nancy described. And it would be including this pay period, so there's already in transit one payment for at the prior reduced amount, and then so on June 8th, the next pay period, pay date, we'll get the gross amount that you all are aware of and the new higher amount.
So everything is correct as far as calculations?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, then, Mr. Assessor, I am glad to make this motion. I am pleased to move to approve Resolution 2023-55 and to reinstate the assessor's salary per the court order.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks?
No.
Commissioner Matari?
Aye.
Chair Duncan?
Aye. All right, motion passes. And item 31, right-of-way easement for the George Andrel Park and Avista Corporation with our Parks and Waterways Director, Mr. Snyder.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nick Snyder for the record. So before you is a request from Avista Utilities for a utility easement across the county's property at George Andrel Park. You'll see on the maps before you, the very first one on the top is the actual county mapping that shows the park there. And then the second one, so you could sort of orientate where that easement is, the utility easement. It's on the corner of the county's property, which will not impede future development or maintenance of the park at all. Jamila has reviewed the agreement. It's ready for your consideration. As part of this agreement, I had requested that Avista provide the county with electrical infrastructure for future development and a street light in the existing parking area, to which they agreed. So that's included in the agreement. So that was a significant savings to the county when they do decide to develop it someday and provide some amenities. So we appreciate Avista doing that in trade for the utility easement. And I recommend you sign.
Okay, questions?
Just curious, is the easement for underground, above ground, both?
Great question. It's all underground, and there will be a concrete vault in the corner where you'll see depicted on the map where our infrastructure will be housed. So it'll all be below ground, and the intent of it is, Commissioners, to provide underground utilities for the residents in the Lock Haven area. They've had a lot of power outages, so this will get those lines below ground and keep power to those folks, typically during winter months when they have problems.
Thank you.
Motion?
I move that we approve the right-of-way easement at George Andrell Park with Avista Corporation and Parks and Waterways.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Item 23, board approval request, community development fees, BOCC and Commissioner Matari, but I will just make a statement that this will require a public hearing, so this is more of a discussion, not really an action item today. So go ahead.
Yeah, if anything, we already kind of have some of those pieces in place in the future. And really what this is just an attempt to make sure that the user fees cover the costs and that the homeowner tax burden is not utilized to cover these expenses that otherwise could be paid for with the user fees. So I appreciate the work that the folks have done to look at that, and I look forward to the next steps in that process to get any new fees approved.
Sure. I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fees that I will want to address on our June 15th meeting. I think some of the things, while, yeah, they may cover the cost, it might be a little, distasteful is the wrong word, but when we're requiring that people comply with a service and we're the only place that can get the service, I think that the fee should be something that people can reasonably afford. And I do understand the balance that we have to have between it costs this much to do the service, but if the person can't afford it, then that really takes away, I think, some of their rights. So we'll just have that discussion, and I'll probably meet with you ahead of time, David, and just go over these 7 issues that I want to make sure that, get some more feeling behind it and see if there's some movement we can make. So, yeah.
And I agree with that concept completely. And I think in those situations, we should definitely try to figure out a way where people legitimately cannot afford such a fee. But what I've discovered is that, it's hard to haggle over $5 when you're wearing a Rolex. And what they're looking to do is build a property which costs significantly more. So we have to kind of balance that a little bit too with, the cost of the overall project and what the cost is that we may be asking for compared to that. So.
Right, and so mine are not based on any type of commercial or development. It's some other things that people may not be able to afford.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, but I'm happy to address those. I'll meet with David first and do that. And I mean, what item in particular, this board has already requested, a couple different people kind of demanded that they do this in order to pass their project, and it's quite a lot of money. So that's what I want to make sure is if we're requiring them to do something, that we're not charging them too much money, whether or not it costs us that much to create the service or not, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So that's all I got on that. So, anything else on that, Bill?
Nope.
You good? Okay, so I don't think that requires a a motion as well, because June 15th is when we're going to have it before the board, then we'll go on for a June 22nd publishing for a public hearing. Okay? Okay. All right, our status update pending list. So these are our things that we go over every week. And the latest with the facilities expansion is the next meeting is being scheduled in June, where they will come, the construction manager will come back before us and let us know what, where we can save some money. And impact fees. Where are we at with that?
Oh, sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, impact fees.
Impact
Were we
fees.
ready?
As far as I know, the letters have not gone out yet. but,
They're going to go out this week.
Right.
And then do you have a sample? That,
I do not.
okay. So before they go out, I would love to see that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, and nothing with the prosecutor, but the facilities working group will be prepared to make a presentation on June 13th. So about some space needs and stuff. All right, and public comment. That's right, Mr. Kovacs?
Commissioners, I have one point of clarification. As per the item that we addressed a moment ago, item 29, the question I have is, in rendering a legal opinion, obviously there's some disagreement, it seems, between the commissioners and the board at this point concerning that. And my question is, in rendering a legal opinion, would the opinion be rendered as legal counsel providing legal support for the assessor or for the commissioners? I would like to have that as a matter of clarification as well, when that opinion is rendered.
I'm happy to share it with the assessor.
Yeah, of course.
So it'll be opinion, legal counsel on behalf of the board. Okay, thank you.
All right. Who's going to volunteer to write that question? You want to submit the question?
Yeah, I want to talk with the treasurer a little bit about
Okay.
that, but yeah. So
Fantastic. Jonathan, anybody on the line?
does that go to you, Dave?
But no questions. Okay, and nobody else in the audience. So 10:42, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.